Hey everybody, welcome to the Eye Opener Society. Once again, we're doing another podcast. Me, Gary, my wonderful partner here, Hannah.
Hey.
I've been on vacation. I feel bad for the rest of the world.
I need a vacation.
Yeah, somebody here really does need a vacation. I'm hoping you get a little bit of stress-free stuff, and that's why we've been talking like we wanted to do a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of things going on. We have the time, but then life always gets in the way, but we're trying to churn a few things out here and there. Before we get cranked down to the show here, mention a few things. Listen, guys, if you are watching us, following us at all on Facebook, we are shadow banned again for no reason whatsoever. Facebook likes to do it. But if you do jump on there, can you look up Amara Starseed? She has a lot of stuff going on. We're going to be teaming up with her. She has an event going on August 25th here in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania. Look up all of her information and follow her. Yeah. Hannah and I were thinking maybe in December we're going to do one of those shows as well.
We're
to
excited.
Get. Yeah, and she's got such great energy.
Yeah.
She's powerful, and I like that. I like people that are in the metaphysical world like us, and they can actually project that high energy. And she's fantastic with that. So definitely give her a look. Don't forget about Elaine from Elaine's
Arcane Oracle.
Arcane Oracle. I always get Elaine and then Arcane Oracle because her website is Elaine's Arcane or some tarot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But look her up too. I mean, I'm going to obviously put all the links on this and all. The last podcast we did, for you guys that are watching on YouTube, we're filming this one. We filmed the last one, but the film, I was on a new program and it didn't work, or it got deleted accidentally or whatever. But it's pretty interesting how the universe works. My partner here, my buddy, she suffers from anxiety at times. And I did a podcast, and if you go on our website, eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co, you can always listen to her.
Yeah,
but I was doing a deep meditation thing where Hannah was going to interview me, but since I was in a deep meditative state, Hannah had to start off the show and host it, and it was the first time she was doing it. She went through an anxiety panic moment, but she pulled through. She's a champion. She's a true hero, man.
I wanted to throw up, I'm going to be honest with you, but I did it.
Exactly, and that's why I trust her, and this here little bond that we have, it's amazing. I love doing these shows. I enjoy sitting down with Hannah, bringing forth some adventure and wisdom and talks to everybody. It becomes so much more fascinating when you got somebody that you really get along with. And that was the one thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I know these past few days, we've been out and about and doing things together and more every day. I appreciate your company so much.
Me too.
I know. It's like, really, she's a stepdaughter, but she's a best friend in the freaking world,
We literally
man.
just hopped in the car yesterday. We were like, what are we going to do today?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, let's go find a farmer's market.
Right.
And we did.
We
and
did.
it was wonderful.
On a Sunday, and we found one that was open. And today is, what is today? What's
Monday,
date?
August 7th.
7th, I want to say. You can look at the phone.
Yeah, August 7th.
August 7th. I just wanted to say that. Today's August 7th. It's a Monday. I'm off from work again. Tomorrow's my last day off, but
I'll be working tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll be right there for you.
I'm thinking about taking off Friday, though. We'll see.
That'll be awesome, because somebody has a birthday coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who?
I think it's Hannah. I think Hannah's got a birthday coming up. And if anybody wants to donate for her birthday, jump on
my
Eye Opener Society.
Saturday, August 12th. There is a street fair going on, so that would be nice.
It'll be wonderful, yeah. So, yeah, if anybody wants to donate for her, go ahead. Why not? eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co.
I promise
you. Go to the donations link.
Yep. I promise you more than likely it'll go to getting my kids something at the street fair.
There you go. So it goes to a good cause. Either way, we downgraded a lot. Like I said, we don't make money off these podcasts, but we started downgrading even more. Like I got rid of our streaming service and all that. So we record everything now on a cell phone. I got different programs now that I run. Anything free, because I'm tired of spending money and money on stuff that just, burdens us, because we don't make money off this. We don't have advertisers or anything like that.
And I feel like, we're doing this for like a good cause. So, we're giving it our best that we can. And we don't need to spend money to do that. We don't need to spend money to make a difference.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. And this is why we do our show. We just like to talk. And I know people are strange, and I get it sometimes. I like to sit and listen to different talks, different podcasts, and all that. A lot of you probably do as well. And that's wonderful. I'm glad you listen to us. And that's why we started doing the recordings, the video too, as well, for those that like the visible aspect of it. But you're just watching us talk. And like I said, we don't spend money on fancy graphics and all this wild stuff. And we just give you a recording because, again, it's what we speak about. We speak from our hearts. And we try very hard to make sense of these things. Because when you're talking about the metaphysical and you're talking about meditation, everything gets kind of lost in translation sometimes. And it's difficult because a lot of people are reaching out for us and they want to learn. And it's difficult sometimes for even us to put the words together because we do this unscripted. So forgive us at times. Please forgive us.
Or not.
Or not.
Sorry. I'm kind of dark and twisty today.
There you go.
But I still wanted to be here for y'all, so here I am.
And dark and twisted too. Speaking of which, listen. While we're talking about podcasts, we're not the only podcasters out there, obviously, and we do most of our shows a lot of times on the Wisdom app. Wisdom on Android or Apple. Download it for your phones and listen to some great podcasts that way. It's totally free. And if you are thinking about podcasting yourself and you don't want to get into all of the hosting and websites, just set up a little profile on there and start talking. And you get an instant audience. It's really fascinating. But we did a podcast, I think it was Friday. And we sat and we did it on Wisdom. And we had it open so people could join in. And this wonderful person joined us, a Sophie Catherine. Turns out she has a podcast herself. Mm-hmm. And she just joined us 10 minutes. And she was fascinated. Yeah, pull up her Instagram there. And her podcast is Changing the Narrative. That's what it's called. Changing the Narrative Podcast. I know she's definitely on Spotify. I believe she says she's on iHeart. I sat and took a listen today to some of her shows. And I've never heard, like, Hannah and I, we could sit here and talk about anything. We're open books. We don't care. And even in personal life, we're like that to each other, too. We can talk about anything to each other. I mean, honestly, we have heart-to-heart talks. But Sophie Catherine.
Yeah.
Oh, she just pours out her life. Things that would be so personal to some people. The mental breakdowns and, just her life in general. Yeah. But she's doing it so maybe other people could be inspired and rise above all that stuff. Yeah. And we liked it because that's kind of what you and I do here.
Yeah, she said when she joined in that she just wanted to create a safe space for people. And I love that.
Yeah.
I was very inspired by her when we talked to her. It was a good chat.
It really was. And she has guests go on her podcast and they talk about same thing we do, life in general, higher self. She's very metaphysically minded herself too as well. So check her out. That's Changing the Narrative podcast. Again, the links will be in there.
We are working on a little collab, hopefully, here soon. We'll see.
Yeah, that we are doing. As a matter of fact, I think it is Friday. She wants to try and do something on Friday. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll definitely let everybody know. And I'm liking this. I'm liking the fact that we get to meet more people. And rather than having just, people with shops, it's nice to have somebody else that does a podcast, understands where we're coming from, and actually collaborate and do something together. And we're excited for that. So that's why we're doing a podcast. Like I said, we go in these shows, like I'm going in blindly today. I didn't really pick a topic, but I did want to speak about something because I mentioned the Mara Starseed shop, Central Pennsylvania. And come December, I believe we're just going to get a booth at this little fair festival kind of thing that she does. And Hannah and I, we could sit and probably meet some people. So, that's why I say look up her stuff. Again, there'll be links in the synopsis for all of this. I want to get back into the teaching of the meditation. And I think when we go there and we have our table, I think that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. Start guiding people through the meditation process. Because, again, it means so much to me. And my mind's been in a whole nother place recently in the past few months, and I'm feeling great about myself, and I'm just in this constant state of meditation. And I know I talked to you and you didn't really question it yet. I was trying the hemi-sync, the hypnosis meditation, and I was doing that the other night, Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look up, hemi-sync is... Oh, it's an actual course, and these things are expensive. We're talking thousands of dollars, but the free world of YouTube takes a lot of their stuff. I don't promote stealing people's stuff and all, but it's out there. And if you look up HemiSync, it's a hypnosis form of meditation with the binaural beats, which I love. And I try this stuff out. It's absolutely amazing how it takes... Well, a lot of people are so difficult. They have the difficulty understanding about meditation and getting started. The binaural beats, it's not annoying at all. They have the perfect sounds. And the hypnosis portion is wonderful because it just gets you right into that place you want to be quickly. So you don't got to take all these years and years of practice. If you follow this course or just what you do freely on YouTube, it puts you right in the zone where you want to be, and you do come out of it feeling great and wonderful. And I want to practice this again as being a teacher to get people into this meditation. I feel that's just what I'm here for. That's my ability, my thing. So I like to do that. I like to get my wife on that boot too as well and start selling some of her hex bags and some of her crafts and all too as well. So if anybody is in Pennsylvania and you like to find us, meet us in person, that'll be coming up in December, and I'll give the dates once we are confirmed with it. Yeah. And Hannah will be there too, of course. Yeah. We'll figure out what we're going to do. We're probably going to do some live podcasts from there. You know, we just haven't figured it out yet, but we do want to get out there and expand our reach a little bit. That's what we really like to do. So... Again, we're going in blindly on this show, so I'm kind of slowing down now. So, but let's take life in general, because I know everybody always tunes into this show because they always want to learn something new about yourselves, want to learn more about being a higher self. And me being in this meditative state for so long, I've been walking around kind of like in this silly mood because it's like I'm looking at everybody. And everybody's going through their moments. And I'm just in this state of bliss continuously. And I just want to reach out to people and like hands on heel and say, listen, just like this one here, Hannah. Yeah, I know. I try so hard. I feel your energy. Hannah's been just having those days. And the same thing with work and all. If you listen to our last podcast, I was talking about that. About me taking the step to just walk away from work in 2 years. Cash out, see you later, bye, be done with it, and then just continue working, but just doing stuff that I like on my terms. And I think everybody should be like that. And then I look at Hannah, when she's at work, she works from home, and she's dealing with, her job, and I'm like, wow, I sometimes go through the exact same things, and I really feel for her. And I feel bad sometimes, I really do, but... This is what I'm talking about. This is everybody. This is what everybody's going through. Yeah. So what's your...
It's like, I was literally just talking, like, on the podcast, like, don't let anyone make you feel like a robot. Don't ever feel stuck, because you're not stuck. But, like, I have these actual barriers that kind of make me stuck. And I do... I'm having a hard time, I guess, figuring out where to start on how to, knock these barriers down. Because, I have a whole ass little human that relies on me. I have a house. I have a lot of responsibilities that I have that I can't just, tomorrow walk away. But I just, like, I've been having a really hard time just, like, mentally just trying to figure out where to start on these barriers. But I'm not giving up hope. It's just kind of, I'm working my brain, just to try to figure it out. But I kind of felt like I should have slapped myself in the face today, like, practice what you preach, you know what I mean? But then I sat back and I was like, I am trying to practice what I preach. I'm not just spitting out, advice to people and not taking my own, It's just some people do have barriers, but what I try to remember... and not just remember for me, but to remind everybody, is that, you know, you're your own hammer. You can break your own barriers down. So slowly but surely I'll get there, but it's just been a bad day today. But I'll get there. I'm staying positive during it all, and I think that's a good thing. You know, I do have my moments where, you know, I just felt very angry today. I'm going to get really vulnerable here. I was just randomly crying. I was just like randomly screaming into my hands just to kind of just release it. Cause I that's just what I felt like I needed to do. And, you know, I got a shower on my lunch, just to kind of meditate a little bit and, you know, try to ground myself again. Cause I just felt everywhere. But, you know, I always try to like tell myself it's okay to feel. You don't have to bottle it in. Because I think that's one of my biggest problems is that I'll either explode or I'll bottle it in. So I've just been slowly trying to work with myself, like letting myself feel, but feel in an appropriate manner instead of my outbursts. I'm learning. I'm training myself.
And we do learn this, because the biggest thing in our mind recently was just, we don't need to be controlled because of our jobs. Our jobs don't control us. They don't have power over us. They hold that paycheck. They hold the firing. But if everybody stands up for themselves, everybody, then we could start like some sort of revolution with this. You know, do your job, do it well. And if you are, then they shouldn't be picking on the petty things. They shouldn't be controlling you on your off
like
hours and everything else.
Late.
Yeah, 3 minutes late here. No big
here
deal.
And there. I'm like, people are human. And I think that's like, I think I talked about this last time. It's like on our last podcast, it's just like people are human. We have lives. We have responsibilities. As long as I'm logging in and I'm doing my fucking job, what does it matter to you if I'm having like a short moment or something like that? You know what I mean? I'm getting my job done. I'm excelling at my job. You know, I was confiding in a coworker today, which I tried to refrain against doing that. You know, that's always been a lesson learned for me. But, you know, I've gained close with this person just because she kind of feels the same energy bullshit that I've been feeling lately. And she's like listing everything that she knows that I do. And she's like, so why are they talking smack? Because without their personal little ragdoll, me, what would they do? So they're going to talk down on you and make threats basically over 3 minutes here and there. She's like, you get your shit done. You're way above average. They need to treat you like a human and not a doll. And it's just really hitting hard for me because like right on our last podcast, I was like, you know, I don't hate my job. I like my job. You know, I'm content with it. But it's like, oh, how the tables have turned. You know, it seems to me that these corporations nowadays, they just abuse the good ones.
That they do. They abuse anybody that's doing their job and doing their job well.
Yeah, and I think the problem with that is that because I feel like I am such an asset and a good employee, is that I'm held to a higher standard. And I don't think that's necessarily professionally appropriate and fair. You know, I hate to sound like, oh, that's not fair, you know, but I don't think on a professional level it is fair. I think, you know, if I am on a team, then there should be a team standard, not an individual standard. Because I'm clearly held at a higher one, and that's just not fucking right to me at all.
Yeah. And that makes complete and total sense to me. Because, yes, we do. Everybody, I think, in some way, shape, or form, enjoys their job. Unless you're just stuck in some place because it's just getting you to that next level.
Yeah.
But for most people in the professional world actually enjoy their jobs, or did at one point. And these corporations do. They take advantage of their best employees to make up for the worst employees.
Exactly.
And that's no longer right. It's the same thing with my job. I loved my job. Absolutely loved it. And I enjoyed doing it still at some point. But every time I do the job, I feel like I'm doing it for somebody else. I'm not doing it for myself anymore. And you get the abuse, you get all the politics, you get everything else involved in there. And the mental stress, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know you were having a breakdown today, because I'm out in my happy world, you know, being off. And I'm outside in my little, under my tree in the backyard and all, but I feel you from out there. But this is the thing.
This was like a full-on catastrophic vibe I was giving off today. Yeah. I felt so bad. Like, in my head, I was like, he's going to feel it. Mm-hmm. He's going to know the minute he sees me. Yeah. And he sure did. He was like, you all right? And I was like, not today. Mm-hmm. Not today. I'm not okay.
And this is what happens to when you're close to people. Like, I'm able to feel energies off of pretty much anybody, but when you're close to somebody, you feel it stronger. It means more to you, and just a nurturing nature in you. If you had it, you want to reach out. You want to help that person. And sometimes it is just a talk. Sometimes it is just a little wink of the eyes. Hey, you all right? I got your back.
Yeah.
Because I got your back at all times.
I think earlier he was like, if you want to talk, and I wanted to talk, but I was like in a position where I was like, oh God, hold on. I was like, I don't think I can talk without crying right now. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't want to cry right now, Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't cry right now, Like, I don't want to cry right now. I need a minute. I need to control my thoughts. I need to breathe through it. And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. And she did. And I recognize this too, just from, the closeness we have.
Yeah.
I understand the point, and I walk away. I know if you need to tell me something, you're going to come to me, but I always leave that door open. Listen, I'm here if you need me. So this is what we mean by help. This is what I think other people need to do. Reach out to anybody, because mental illness, mental disease, mental breakdowns, these are all real things. And unfortunately, because the entire medical community they thrive on that, because it's all control. They want the control over everybody. They want everybody to be in these mental breakdowns. They want them to be pushing more medications, pushing more control, changing your environment into, help. Reach out to people. Just talking to people, I think, helps more than, obviously somebody really needs help. Send them somewhere. Absolutely. Because again, we're not doctors. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I know when I went through my time, it's nice to know somebody can listen. Somebody will actually talk and converse with you and feel the same thing and just give you some sort of advice. So that's the purpose of all this. That's why I'm trying to make very clear. Hannah and I, we reach out.
Yeah.
Even these podcasts, it may seem like we talk about some things that are off the wall and conspiracy theory and all that. But when it comes down to it, our shows are based off the higher self and helping people out and getting through this time, because I'm tired of seeing people depressed, anxiety, fearful, because we're stuck in this corporate world where they hold everything over your head. Mm-hmm. It's time to break free from that. It's time to break free. Get out of this matrix.
Yeah, that's what I was literally just about to say. The matrix, or stop letting them program us. Mm-hmm. I think that's like a bullet that I've been, dodging for a while now. And just being so open about my mental state and my mental self. I've just realized I literally told my coworker this today, and I think I told you, she was just fuck around and find out. Tell them fuck around and find out, Mm-hmm. And I think that's the mindset that I'm going to go into, from now on, because, I do have these barriers, but like I said, I'm not going to give up. And I really think people need to start doing that. They need to realize that just because you have those barriers doesn't mean that you can't stand up for yourself. You don't have to be programmed. And it's sad.
Yeah. It's warrior culture, people. Listen, we need to stand up for ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Listen, Hannah had an anxiety attack on our podcast. I could have stopped everything right then and there.
I was full blown shaking.
Mm-hmm. She was.
Shaking. Mm-hmm. You put too much in the washer, shaking.
Exactly. And I could have stopped the show, but do you know what? Warrior mentality. She got through it. She did it.
I did.
Because she's strong. And I know she is. And in her work environment, I know she can be strong too. Because she already is. But every single one of us has that same problem. We are all strong people, but we just feel the need to bow down all the time whenever people in our jobs want to make mountains out of molehills. You're doing your job, you're doing your job. Stop worrying about the small things. Say, hey, you did a good job today. That's all. Me, when I'm at work, I don't even want to hear that. I could care less if I'm doing a good job. I know I'm doing a good job.
Yep.
I just leave me alone. Call me when I make a mistake. This way I can man up to it and say, hey, I messed up. I can change it. How do I do it correctly? That's all I want. I don't look for praise or anything like that. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about all the little nonsense, all the political nonsense that goes on in my field. I don't want to deal with that anymore. And I'm not. I gave up on it. I'm done. So I go to work now with a completely different mindset. Just like you said, fuck around, find out. I'll walk right out the door right now. I'm ready. And I can do it right now. Not everybody's going to be in that position. I know. It's sad, though, because it'll be more of a struggle for me. But at the same time, I don't care. I don't care. I want what's best for me from this point on.
And I think that's what more people need to realize is that stop doing things for... Not necessarily stop doing things for other people, but stop doing things for these corporations who would replace you in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Do something for yourself. You don't like something, stand up for yourself. Say something. That's always been one of the things that actually my boss praises me on. She's like, Hannah literally will speak her mind and not give it two shits. Mm-hmm. And I think that's 110% true.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do bite my tongue just because I turn a little ghetto. Not gonna lie, with certain people. So usually I'll just do the more responsible thing, like, hey, like, you need to talk to this person before I lay them out with my words. But yeah.
Yeah, everybody handles everything differently. Find your best medium. Find your best approach to it.
And I never used to be like that.
Right.
I was bullied so bad as a child. But, it was so weird. It's like one day I woke up and I grew my backbone. Mm-hmm. And I got that fuck around to find out mentality. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to respond to, pettiness. But I am going to respond if it comes to, a judge of my character or, just standing up for myself. I don't care about, oh, yeah, this person called you a slut or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Yep, I'm a slut. Yep, cool. Whatever you want to believe. If it's not out of my mouth, then don't fucking believe it. But if someone was just, like, judging my character, I'd be like, no, this is not how it is. Because you're not going to sit there and, that's one thing about me. I'm not a liar. And I would never do anything to hurt anybody. I think I would rather... And I kind of hate myself sometimes about this, but I would rather hurt my own feelings than hurt someone else's feelings. And I think that's one of my my biggest flaws is I think I care more about other people than I do myself.
It's just like your mom.
Yeah.
Exactly like your mom. She puts other people before she places herself.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a great quality, but that's dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Your mom went down a bad road because of that, and I could see you going down bad roads because of that. But with me, I've slowly, and I thank my son for that, honestly, because when I became pregnant, I was like, fuck you, and fuck you. This is such an explicit podcast, but, oh well.
Because I only cared about him. And that was the only person that I was allowing for myself to care more about myself for at that moment in time. Because I didn't want anything to happen. And I didn't want the stress. And I didn't want the bullshit. And I was tired of being everyone's mother. Because that's all I felt. I was like, I'm not your fucking mom. Like, I'm this child's mom. And that's all I care about. And it was the greatest time of my life.
And that's exactly how your mom is too. She's been a mother to everybody.
Yeah.
And she used that exact same line. I'm tired of being everybody's mother. But she can't break away from it.
Yeah.
She still continues to do it. And that slowly eats away at the psyche. And that's what creates problems. That's why I say, think about yourselves. Put yourselves first. That's not selfish. If you're not putting yourself first, where you're making yourself the most important, then you can't be there for anybody else. Build yourself up before you give to anybody. Share and, divide your kindness between yourself and somebody else.
Yeah.
It's nice to give. It's nice to be forgiving. It's nice to be a good-natured human. And I hope everybody can be. But at the same time, you got to give yourself exactly what you're giving out to other people too as well. And as we all know, no matter how nice, no matter how kind you are to other people, those people are going to turn around and screw you.
Yeah.
And for the most part, and you got to have that solid foundation to respect yourself, to know when that's happening, and be able to walk away from those situations.
I think it's easier. It's definitely easier said than done, but I think I'm like living proof that you can do that. Don't get me wrong. There's still some people that I have like soft spots for. But I have definitely created a foundation and a boundary for myself that I never thought, like you could ask me 5 years ago, I never thought I would have. But now it's like, I don't want to say I'm cold-hearted because I'm definitely not, but I've definitely created this solid, cold foundation that is unbreakable, just to protect my psyche, because I felt that draining, that draining energy feeling, and it was just from people in my life, work, and I was just like, enough is enough, But now it's like I'm just kind of feeling it again, and I'm like, I got some cracks, I need to patch it. But basically what I'm trying to say here and make a point is that, like I said, you're your own hammer. You break down those barriers to do what you have to do for yourself. But, if you feel people creeping in on that foundation and boundary that you're setting for self, remember, you're your own cement also.
You are. I like it. That's good. Very good advice. I'm going to take this just one step further, and I don't mean to, get it out, but this here show is real. But since we're talking about this, because I remember when you were younger, and you had mentioned all the bullying and all that you were subjected to. And what I've noticed from that, you took everything to heart. No matter what anybody said to you, you took it to heart. And you would always, instead of fighting back in a defend yourself, you were always seeking out the approvals from these people too.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, and because of the way I was raised and all, I always seen that as bad. I wanted you to grow up to be stronger than that, to be stronger than your enemies, to go up, to rise above that. You don't need their approval for shit.
Yeah.
And I saw how it affected you, and it kind of solidified my, way of thinking a little bit, saying, and I used to talk to your mother about this all the time, because I used to tell her what to tell her. I was like, she needs to quit seeking the approval from these people.
Yeah.
Because every time you reached out, they'd eat that up, and they'd attack you even more.
Yeah.
And because they saw what it was doing to you. So if anybody else is being bullied, stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up. That's all I got to say. Stand up to that shit. Don't let them get the best of you. Yeah. Don't seek anybody's approval. If somebody don't like you, better yet, that means you must be doing something right. People get jealous real easy.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of the times it's someone's just jealous of you, so that way they're going to bully you. I think with me, I just was like such a broken child. And it had no reflection on like my mom. But I was just a really broken child. I had a lot of horrible things happen to me when I was a child. And I just wanted to be loved. And when people would bully me and just belittle me, I think it literally destroyed me inside. Because all I wanted was that love that I just didn't feel like I deserved. Because, for the longest time, like, all this bad shit would happen to me. And I was like, immediately, like, I was like, okay, it's because I just don't deserve to be loved. Like, I just felt like a mistake in the world. And, sometimes I still, like, I'll think about things and I'm just like, damn, like, that shit really happened to me. And here I am today,
Yeah.
Like, it says something. And I'm not just saying, like, everyone always says, like, yeah, everyone goes through a lot. Everyone goes through a lot. And I'm not saying, like, there are people who have had it way worse than me, but I've been through some shit. And I feel blessed that I can be open about the things that I've been through, so people can kind of compare what they've been through, and I can kind of like spit out how I got through the shit that I did, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I love doing this so much, is that I can just make a difference by my own personal shit that I've been through. Like, I'm literally living proof.
Mm-hmm. That you are. And that's why I like having you on the show. It does give, because I have a complete, you know, it's two different worlds, you know, like when I grew up in the Bronx, New York. Bullying was self-esteem. That's exactly what it was back. Everybody bullied everybody. That's just the way it was. You weeded out the wheat. But then you talk about generational differences and all. That's why we have this kind of yin and yang show here. There's a whole different world. I probably could have taught you more. I probably could have been there more. You know, but I feel now we're closer and we're more connected. But I see something that I really like, and that's how you overcame everything.
I dug myself out of that fucking hole. Did. I did. I dug that shit with a spoon, and here I am.
Yeah, and she did. And I'll be the first to say I'm very proud of you for that. I'm glad you did that for yourself, and you did. You got out of it, and you became really great. And this goes for anybody else too. It could get really bad. It really can, because, like I said, I went my whole life. I never gave a shit about anything. You know, I grew up tough, and after all these years, and when I had a breakdown, I turned around. I was like, I was always the one helping other people. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck helps those that help others? You know, who are they? And that's how I felt. Now, I overcame everything, spiritually and all that, and boom, and here I am today. But it was quick. It was done. There are some people, they live longer through that bad spot. There's people that constantly live. You're always going to have a point, a plateau in your life where things just change, where you can look back and say, I came a long way. And you could do that right now, no matter how bad it is. Just look back and say, well, maybe things got a little bit better.
Yeah.
Take every little thing as a step.
I think that's what I reminded myself, too. I like a lot. I was like, okay, today wasn't that bad of a day, and then just slowly but surely, I kind of processed, and then I let it go, I think I may have talked about this in one of our older podcasts when we were still Third Eye Meditation. But there's this book that I got, and it was called Burn After Writing. Mm-hmm. And it goes into depth, man. It asks you such personal questions. And what you do at the end is you burn the whole fucking book. Mm-hmm. You burn the whole damn book. And when I tell you that was like an awakening moment for me, that I thanked the universe for that fire and for the wind that was brushing up against my face that night that I burnt it, like, I felt rejuvenated. It was like such an awakening for me, and I'm not going to lie, like, I still struggle, I had a straight up anxiety panic attack our last podcast, probably have an anxiety attack at least once a day. But that's just me. And me coming a long way now is that, and he can attest to this, I used to sit in my room as a teenager and scream and cry to the point where he'd be like, okay, enough. And now it's like I can get through one with, minimal people noticing that I'm going through it, and it's just practicing and, being one with the universe and finding, realizing your triggers and then finding something to block those triggers or get you through those triggers is what helps a lot. But there's all the tools in the world, and you make your own tools.
Yeah. And yeah, I did. I used to say, hey, listen. But remember, the way I handle it too, that was my way of noticing that you were in distress. I noticed it. I may handle it different than other people, but I always noticed it. Just like now. Now, like, I know you better, where I know, hey, I'm here. Talk to me. And you don't have to if you don't want to. I know when you're not ready to do that. So hopefully everybody has that. Hopefully somebody has somebody to go to. If not, listen, if you got to reach out for professional help, reach out for professional help. There's nothing the stigmata of it right now, because even though they're trying to say, oh, everybody should do it and it's no big deal, and I still feel that there's a stigmata behind it, and you're labeled. I still believe that, because I just believe in this entire system is just screwing everybody over in one way or the other. One hand, they'll tell you how you should reach out and all, and then on the other hand, they're taking away a little bit from you because they feel, oh, you're unstable. Should be no stigmata about it. You should always feel safe. You should always feel comfortable about yourself. Try different things. Find something that helps you. Right?
Exactly.
Just find something that helps you, or find somebody that helps you.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Sometimes I don't have answers half the time.
Yeah. I'm like...
But I have an ear. I can listen.
I have an ear. And like, I'm not a professional, but that's, like I said earlier, this is why I love to do this, because I would love to make a difference in people and help people. Maybe I haven't gone through what you've gone through, but maybe the feelings that you felt during that situation that's kind of stunning you is the same feelings that I had during a situation that I was in that stunned me, And that's why I'm just always an open ear, and I'm always here to just give the best advice I can and hope that it helps, And
I think you do. I have you on the show for that little, because you go through a lot more than I do sometimes, and you're able to communicate, it now. And I like that. And I think you are helping people. I know some people are probably just listening saying, she's making a lot of sense right now. It's,
Do I cry? Yes, all the time.
All the time. And
all the time.
Yeah, I'll be the first to say, like, as a man, I always say crying is a weakness. Don't show it. And that's my thing. It's not so much that it's a weakness. If you are crying and you're doing it behind closed doors sometimes, it's fine. Just don't show weakness. That, I don't know if that's good advice, bad advice. I prefer people not show their weakness unless you really trust that person.
Yeah.
I know when she cries, but I don't look down at her for it,
I think I just get really vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm letting someone in.
Yeah.
Which takes a lot for me.
Absolutely. And it's not a problem. I'd rather her cry to me than cry to her enemies. Simple as that. Don't show weakness, but if you gotta cry, you gotta cry. Do it in a way that's gonna help you, not hurt you. All right? I mean, that's probably better advice. Like I said, I'm no professional here. I'm no therapist, but I lived through a lot of stuff, and I cried myself many a times. Never let anybody see it. Never let your enemies see it, So if you're going to do something, make sure it's helping you, not hurting you. Mm-hmm. All right? So with that, I'd like to leave everybody with the thoughts that we all go through something. We're all going through something wrong, and we need to find that happy medium. Mm-hmm. Find your spirituality, find whatever it is, and get out there and just be happy doing what you're doing. Be happy being yourself, and let's not let all this corporate matrix world take over our lives and dictate what we're supposed to do.
And open your eyes and let the earth help you heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want everyone to think about what I just said, because everyone will be like, how can the earth help me with what I'm going through? Go outside. Just sit for a while and just let it take over your body. Just from personal, I can tell you it helps a lot. We were just recharging ourselves yesterday.
Yeah, and and this is interesting. I'm going to bring up one last point here. Now that you mention that, I do it all the time. You know me. I go outside and, I kick off my shoes. I shove my feet in the grass and I ground myself. And here's something I learned. And no matter where you are, you always learn. No matter what stage you are in life, no matter where you are metaphysically, you learn. And sometimes you read something or hear something from somebody else and you're like, that makes so much sense. We've been doing it wrong the whole time. Grounding. Releasing all that negative energy into the earth. Somebody said, why are you doing that to Mother Earth?
Yep.
Why, when you're grounding, do you release all the negative energy back into the earth?
You don't do that. You don't. You let the earth in to heal you internally and metaphysically. Listen
to this girl. She knows more than I do. It's true. A lot of people have the understanding that the grounding is releasing and putting it on. It's not. We're taking in the goodness of the earth. And all the negativity we're releasing into some void out there.
Yeah.
You know, there's darkness and there's light, you know. We'll release it back out to the darkness, you know.
Yeah.
Don't put it back into the earth. All right. That's negative. All right. You know, the earth is positive. We don't want to take the negative, or it's going to cause an imbalance there and you're not going to feel. Absorb in the earth. And that's why I think grounding, because if you think in electricity, it goes into your, so it's releasing. But you got to think of it in a metaphysical sense. We're bringing in, we're firmly planted like a plant into the earth. Our roots are sucking up all the nutrients and all, so it's a positive experience. And the negative is going through our crown chakras and releasing out into a void somewhere. Never put it back where it doesn't belong.
Yep.
So hopefully that was a learning experience, just like I learned something that made a lot of sense to me. So yeah, everybody, don't forget, check out our website, eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. It's the only thing I'm spending money on now. I've dropped everything else. So when I shut off the camera, you're going to see me get up and actually walk over and shut off the camera. And I'm not going to edit it out, because the last time I did that, I deleted the whole thing. So we're not going to do that. But everybody, enjoy yourselves. Yes. All right, Hannah, thank you again so much for everything. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be back, and we're going to start collaborating with this whole new podcast, you know, feel that I have. Yeah. We're going to talk about exiting the matrix and just some good stuff. So be prepared.
Yeah.
Join our website. Sign up for the email notifications whenever a new podcast comes out. eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. Reach out to us if you want. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Audio Boom.
X.
We're on X too. I almost forgot that that's what it's called now. X, whatever. I'm tired of all the different platforms myself, but I try to get our name out there a little bit. We thank you for your support, and we'll be talking to everybody really soon. Take care.
Take care. You guys good to see me?